Hello, how are you? I'm Coty Aserín. I started my life as a biologist, microbiologist. After working in laboratories and with tissue culture and rats, I decided I love to help people. And then I started to do all my career about transformational therapies as a transformational therapist, holistic Chinese medicine, and then I finally got to be the chairman of the Mental Wellness Society, chairman for Spanish-speaking countries.
Wow.
How are you, Jonathan?
I'm very well, thank you. We're also joined by Robert.
Hello, Jonathan. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
My name is Robert Lebovits. I am a psychologist. I was trained a fair number of years ago in clinical psychology, and I have worked predominantly with children, families, and couples. I also taught for about 20 years at the University of Pittsburgh. I was on the faculty training students in clinical psychology and psychotherapy. And I am one of the founders of Mind Focus Coaching with Dr. Gerard Meyer. And about 10, 12 years ago, we put our heads together and used our combined expertise to come up with the principles and the practices of Mind Focus Coaching. And we've been working on it ever since. And it's been a wonderful experience.
Excellent. Now, I read the book, speed read the book, which I downloaded from the website. So there's 3 axes involved in this process?
Yes. What we have identified 3 particular pathways to help people change. Okay. And I think that's what we're going to talk about, right? We're going to talk about
absolutely. If you can tell me about the first one, then maybe, because I know Coty's just been trained in the process, so it'd be really good to get some perspective.
Sure. So the first axis, and probably the one that really makes us unique, is the axis of called destination versus journey. And I know Coty can describe that to you in more detail. It's a very, very valuable tool for helping people conceptualize where they want to go.
Coty?
Jonathan, so mindful choice has a very important tool, is to start from the end. It's what it's called backward design. What is backward design? You can figure out where you want to stay, where you want to be. Mm-hmm. It's like, imagine you want to study to start your career now. So you must imagine to figure out what are your final destination. To get to your final destination, you have a few paths. It's called journeys. And for sure, there is one of them is the best for you, because it's about your personality, your past experience is easiest for you. So when you start from the end, imagine, Jonathan, you can focus your mind on the solution. Usually, when we are confronted to a problem, human being, we are focused on the problem.
Yeah,
you live with your problem and sleep with your problem. And that makes your problem bigger. And that makes your stress, your level stress higher. So that point that you can figure out, you can breathe your final destination. You can live it, you can taste it before you get it. You can decide like short-term periods goals. So that way you live on your solution. Even your posture changes when you feel it.
Absolutely. So my question is then, I know that many people, they seem unable to hold a future image in their mind because the pressures of life and the day. How do you guide people through that, Robert, and then Coty?
You know, that's a wonderful point that you're raising. And in fact, I want to emphasize that even more strongly. I had a client some time ago who I've been working with for quite some time for a variety of issues. And he shared with me, this was a year after we had started this process. He shared with me, you know, the first time you asked me how do I want to be? What kind of a life do I want to have? And you asked me about destination. I was furious at you, he said to me, because what do you mean? What kind of a life? I have no control over my life. How can, what, that has no reality to me. What kind of a life do I have? I just live my life, you know, wherever it takes me, it takes me. So it took quite a bit of time to help him, to help most people think about something they usually don't think about. How really do I want my life to be, and how do I want to be? And it's a progressive process, right? Where you look at the variety of, you look at where you are, obviously. Well, this is where I am now. What would I want to be different in my life? What would I want to see happens to me? And it coalesces. You think about the destination as something that sort of coalesces, where finally I had another client say to me, you know, I realized, client who was struggling with sobriety, and we were quite successful. And he said to me, sobriety became real to me when I realized there was another life I could have, and that was this life.
Brilliant example. Coty, we're coming up to a break, but we've got a couple of minutes. What would you like to add?
I can tell you that people think sometimes that I can't figure out my solution. Yes, but on the same way and on the opposite, every time we have a bad experience, you are obsessed with that experience. Only show to your mind how to change the object. And the same, you can be obsessed about a bad experience, a negative experience. Train your mind to stay focused on the solution. It makes all the difference.
So a lot of there's the practice of neuroplasticity, which I've personally dealt with quite a lot. I had a number of strokes and couldn't walk, talk, speak, hear, all sorts of things for several months, and rebuilt that through a process, and actually read about it in a few books. So that's very true that your thoughts are a muscle, your brain's a muscle that you can actually exert force over. We're going to a break right now, but what we'll do tomorrow is we'll chat about Axis 2, if that's okay, Robert?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah?
Great.
Okay. Yep. Wave goodbye, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you. Take care.